Hari Om and a good morning to one and all present here. We, the event's hosts, welcome you to the 8th edition of TEDx Youth at CIRS 2025. Before we begin our show, it is tradition at CIRS to seek blessings from the Lord. So, I kindly invite our respected dignitaries to come forward and kindle the lamp. Please welcome Shanti Ma'am, Swamiji, Ganesh Sir, Rajeshwari Didi, and Brahmachari Sanatan Chaitanya.
ॐ असतो मा श्रीचिन्मयसद्गुरवे नमः ॐ श्रीचिन्मयसद्गुरवे नमः ॐ श्रीचिन्मयसद्गुरवे नमः.
We thank each of you for gracing this occasion with your presence and for lighting the way forward for the rest of this event. Now, I kindly invite the choir to come up to the stage and render the invocation prayer.
கலனிரை கணபதி சரணம் சரணம் கலனிரை கணபதி சரணம் கணபதி சரணம் சரணம் கலனிரை கணபதி சரணம் गणपति शरणं शिलेमलैरुळयव शरणं शरणं शिव 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 शरणं शरणं शिलेमलैरुळयव शरणं शरणं शिव 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 शरणं 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 गणपति शरणं गणपति शरणं 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 गणपति शरणं गणपति शरणं 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 शरणं.
Check. Thank you, choir, for that beautiful rendition. Moving forward, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to these incredible individuals here who are here to share their ideas with us. Now, I would like to call upon the core team to welcome the speakers of TEDx Youth at CIRS 2025. Dr. Guru Kanaka Sudhakar, Mr. Subodh Kerkar. Mr. Vivesh George. Mr. Sumant DS. And Mr. Yogesh Shinde. We thank you for bringing your vision and your valuable time to TEDx Youth at CIRS 2025.
We begin, each of us, in our own little islands, enisled yet connected by the ideas that we harbor. We journey into the future for which we look into the past, gazing at great visionaries like Pujya Swami Chinmayananji. But to him, just sailing was never enough. His clarion call to the future urged action for impact. It involved reinventing the world as we knew it. And it was in that very spirit that TEDx Youth at CIRS took root right here in our school. One stage, one spark, and infinitely many ideas to kindle that once faint glimmer into a blazing inferno of passion and innovation.
Today, we gather once again to reinvent the world with our congregating ideas. And as we brave the path, new avenues unfold, new truths unveil, and we welcome a change tomorrow. And at last, change doesn't happen to us. It happens through us. These moments of change are not just transitions. They are intersections where voices meet, where visions collide, where futures are shaped. This is a convergence. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you X-VERGENCE, where ideas intersect. Thank you.
Welcome to something special. Welcome to TEDx. This TEDx event is part of a global conversation that takes place every day in every corner of the world. In schools, in theaters, in workplaces, even in prisons, people gather to hear the best ideas bubbling up in their communities. More than 3,000 TEDx events are held every year in 170 countries. It's a remarkable thing. TEDx events are self-organized under a license from TED, a non-profit organization devoted to discovering and sharing powerful ideas in the form of TED Talks. It's not TED itself, but your local TEDx team of volunteers that has done all the work to put on today's event, including booking all of the speakers. It's this team's ideas, dedication, and time that have made this possible. We really hope today's program sparks an exciting conversation. This is a day for curiosity and for skepticism, for inspiration and for action. The more you enter into it, the more you will take out. And now, on with the show.
Audio Jungle.
Okay.
Check.
Check.
Today, we have 5 brilliant speakers from all over India who have contributed to changes in a multitude of fields, not just in India, but in the world as a whole. It is truly a great pleasure to have these incredible minds come together on our very stage, spreading their ideas and passions.
Now, to all our speakers, we hope that you're now energized to unlock new doors for us, one idea at a time.
As you know, this year's TEDxYouth CIRS event theme is
Where ideas intersect.
Be it a personal journey, a transformation, or a revolutionary invention, your talk must come from an intersection of ideas. And that is precisely what today is about. The convergence between ideas, the union between fields, the fusion between thoughts that lead to something entirely new. Ideas worth spreading.
Finally, we know the spotlight can feel intense. As CIRS students, we truly do. But we're all gathered here today because we know that each and every one of you has the potential to give something great to the world. We are here because we believe in the power of your ideas, in the practicality behind the words you are about to speak. So remember, when you're standing here speaking on this red carpet, you have the potential to echo much beyond. Thank you.
Check. For our very first speaker, we have the man, the myth, the bamboo legend. Everyone, welcome Mr. Yogic Shinde.
Mr. Shinde's mind works on a league of its own. He is the founder of a company dedicated to providing sustainable alternatives for plastic through innovative bamboo-based solutions.
As of now, his company has replaced 1,600 tons of plastic waste with bamboo. And trust me when I say this, he is just getting started. He envisions replacing 1 billion plastic products with bamboo alternatives by 2030.
He doesn't do it for the income, he does it for the outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Shinde.
हरि ओम सर्वत्र सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. So I'm very fortunate because I'm given an opportunity to set the tone of the day, because as an opener batsman or an opener player, it's always a great responsibility. So hope I will not disappoint you. Okay, so bamboo, right? So everyone knows bamboo. In your campus also, yesterday also I saw lots of bamboo grows. And so everyone says bamboo is a poor man's timber, right? But for me, it's not a poor man's timber, but it's a wise man's timber. Why and how, that I will let you know. So before that, I want to start my every presentation with a simple question. So, where is your last used plastic toothbrush? So, right, you use toothbrush every morning, right? Good, because your smile says that. Okay, so where is your last toothbrush? Because I know maybe you changed your brush last month or 15 days back. So where you throw that brush and what is happened to that? So, or maybe you can identify your brush in this garbage. Why I'm asking this question is having some significance, like all the plastic toothbrush that you are using since your childhood, or all the toothbrush that your father using since childhood, or all the toothbrush started in 1938 are still exist in this planet. And creating a pollution. So every year India consumes, I'm only talking about India, India consumes more than 22 crores plastic toothbrush every month. So in a year, we are consuming more than 250 crores of plastic toothbrush, and they are throwing in the garbage, and they are piling up there since long time. They're piling up the landfills, they blocking the rivers, they are going into the oceans, and they're keeping there for hundreds of years. So what is solution to that? So this question comes to my mind in 2014-15 when I was doing my job in London in the corporate banking. And then I thought, can we do some change? Because in Mahabharata, when Arjun and Sri Krishna discussion, so Sri Krishna told, you have two choices. Either see what is happening or take up the weapon, took the weapon and fight against the odds. So same thing we did. We launched bamboo toothbrush. So we are the first company who launched bamboo toothbrush in India, which is 100% biodegradable, handle, ergonomic designs, less in landfills, and good for the planet. So hope you are agree with me, right? Yeah, and we brought the bamboo toothbrush to you as well. After the session, the volunteers will gift it to you. Okay, so who we are? So my name is Yogic Shinde. I'm from Pune. Myself and my wife, we started this bamboo mission along with my team, just to convert that bamboo is no more a poor man's timber, but a wise man's timber. How that we will come in the next sequence slides. So we started making products which can replace plastic in your day-to-day consumptions, like bamboo toothbrush, bamboo earbuds, bamboo comb, bamboo straws, and so on. So right now, we have around 36 different products, which is available many. Yeah. Thank you. So this is just a start, because I want to present bamboo in a different format to the world, because everyone knows bamboo is good for scaffolding, bamboo is good for the ladders, bamboo is good for the furniture or the construction, but what about bamboo in other aspects? Across world, there are more than 1,800 known bamboo uses, but we as an Indian, or we know bamboo only for the art and craft, not more than that. So we started this product. So what we did in our company started 15th August 2015. We particularly choose that 15th August because now we want India need one more freedom, but not from the British this time, but from the plastic. So that's why we choose that date 15th August 2016. And the impact which we did so far, more than 1,12,000 customers, total product 46 as of now. Farmers associated, that we directly sourcing bamboo from the farmers across India. We have more than 6,000 farmers associated with us. We exported 21 countries regular basis. We have crossed more than 70 countries so far, but 21 countries we are regularly exporting. Total plastic saved, that is what our, you can say, USP. So we saved more than 56 lakhs, like more than 5 millions. So many of us ask, what is your turnover, right? So they always interested in numbers, how much revenue you earn. But for us, the revenue is how much kilogram plastic we saved by using bamboo products. So for example, how we calculate is very simple, like if you use plastic toothbrush, its weight is around 22 grams along with the packaging. But in our case, we are using paper packaging, which is again compostable. The bamboo toothbrush handles is again compostable. So one bamboo toothbrush you are using, you are saving directly 22 grams of plastic. And so accordingly, not only toothbrush, the earbuds, comb, all the products we calculated, and we matched this 56 lakhs kilogram plastic waste. And why I'm very curious about this data, because in 2015, I was doing my banking job. I was AVP in Barclays Bank in London. It's very settled life. But then I decided to come back to India and do something for the farmers, do something for the eco-friendly things in India. And then zero experience, no background at all, because I'm from the teacher's family. We don't have any business in our family, but I dare to come here. I thought, let's do experiment for a year. If it is not successful, then again I will go back to my corporate life. But thanks that God has different plan for me, and then we had done this kind of work. So we received lots of acknowledgement, appreciation across all platforms. Like celebrities, the legendary businessmen like Ratan Tata ji, visionary leader like Nitin Gadkari ji, Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi ji, and more than 100 newspapers, news channels, magazines covered us. And all this happens without spending a single rupees so far. We have not done any kind of PR. Even today, they invited me, just see my work, and they invited me here. And in 2018, we got an appreciation from United Nations, where they invited me to speak in front of United Nations crowd, just what we are did in the bamboo. Yeah. Yeah. So in our Pune plant, so as I told you, we don't have any business background. We don't know how to set up a company. Till the time I have started my own company, I never visited a company. So, but now we have a Pune plant where we are making around 10,000, means 1 million bamboo toothbrush every month. So daily we are making around 70,000 to 80,000 brushes per day, and it goes across India. And we are following all the GMP standard because we are working with industry's best oral care companies. Now, the most concern about the price. People always say sustainable things are good to use, but they are very expensive, right? But we changed that perception as well. We started bamboo toothbrush manufacturing in 2016, where the price was 180 rupees per brush, which is far expensive than normal plastic toothbrush. But over the period of time, over the period of the successful attempt how to reduce the price without compromising the quality, we have reduced the price. In this month, in the month of February, we reduced the price at 35 rupees, which is, that is the MRP. That is, so that we can bring that products each and every household. And if you see the business, so this is not only for the fancy business that just make a toothbrush. India is generating around 7,600 crore business only selling plastic toothbrush. So we have a huge opportunity here to get that market. And in that 7,600 crores, 90% market share by only 2 companies. I don't know to tell them which companies are there. They are multinational companies. So at the end of the day, oral care for us managed by some foreign companies and taking the revenue at their own country. So this is what Bamboo Week's making. So we are, again, so not restricted only for the bamboo toothbrushes. As we told, we have more than 46 products. And apart from that, we are a zero waste company. So in our company, we never let a single dust particle out of the factory. We convert that dust into various products like bamboo pallets, again that using for the furnace thing. We are making lots of innovative products. For example, during the COVID, our factory was 7 months completely down, and we are very nervous at what should we do. Then we got an order from Indian Postal Department to making a bamboo face shield, so without using plastic, and we supplied around 50,000 face shield for the postmen who were that time frontline warriors. So that we are very fortunate and we are very proud that my team took that design and submitted to the Indian Postal Department, and then we got this order. Now, the very basic question, why bamboo? Why not? There are so many biodiversity we have. So why not neem or teak wood or any other wood? Why bamboo? The fact is, India is world's second largest bamboo growing country. So now we are the number one in terms of growing bamboo. Okay. Again, it is the fastest growing grass in the world. Bamboo is a grass, not a tree. So that is the basic difference. You can cut the bamboo, you can transport the bamboo, you can convert the bamboo in different products. You don't need to take any permission from the government because it is from the grass category. Third one is in season, like this is the perfect season. Bamboo grows around 1.5 feet per day. So that is the growth of a bamboo in monsoon. India is a huge collection of bamboo, more than 136 varieties. So right from the Ladakh to Kanyakumari or Dwarka to Vijayanagar in Arunachal, everywhere you will see a different species of bamboo. So right from the bamboo which we are using for the straw, which is hardly 10 mm, and there are bamboos which is again 1.5 feet diameter from the northeast. So all those kinds of bamboo available in India. And when we say we are the India's largest bamboo growing country, but the saddened part, we are still importing more than 3,600 crores bamboo raw material from China and Vietnam in terms of essence stick, agarbatti sticks. But so that is the reason we want to inculcate the startup culture across bamboo, across the sustainability, so that people can, or the students can, the entrepreneurs can make bamboo products, because as I told you, we are only making 46 products, but across the globe, more than 1,800 known bamboo products available. So these are the variety available. We have the products variety. And while making this, we are not only employing our employees, or we are not only giving the amount to the farmers, but we are also helping the government by making or the participating in the Swachh Bharat mission or the Make in India mission, Atmanirbhar Bharat and Skill India. So these are the missions. So as a Indian or as a individual, when I was studying or I was working with the foreign countries, unfortunately on my 14 years of IT career, I always work for the foreign clients. I was there 5 years in Germany, 1 year in the UK, and that time I realized I'm not doing justice to my knowledge, to my country. So that's why I came back to India and I started something my own. And you just see, after, so next month we are completing our 9th successful years, exactly 1 month later, right, on 16th of August. So that we are entering into double digit. So without any background, without any sustainable knowledge, I started this business. So now you have a case study. So whenever in future, if you want to start something your own, so don't stuck with the traditional things like the electronics or the startups around the food application. So these are good, I'm not saying that, but there are huge potential in the sustainability, because the entire world is now looking to change plastic production to different kind of things. So that's why the cork or lots of wooden things are coming up. But as a bamboo, we have a huge potential, and if you can make the business in bamboo, because I clearly remember when I met Mr. Modi, Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi, first time, and I showcased them, these are the products which we are making, these are the impacts we are doing. So they said, don't stuck here on a single company. You need to make 100 more bamboo in India. So from this platform, I appeal everyone, like, explore the world of bamboo, because bamboo will never disappoint you. Bamboo is a huge futures, government having a huge, lots of schemes around bamboo or the sustainability. So not only we are helping Indian or the consumers, but we are also helping the HDG goals shared by the United Nations. So we are also helping to that also. And yes, this is all about bamboo and Bamboo India and my contribution to this field. So thank you so much once again for inviting me here. Hari Om. So any question, answers? Yeah? Okay, thank you so much.
Check. Wow, that was truly a riveting speech, Mr. Shinde. Your ideas seem to have been forged at the intersection between nature and innovation. It quite literally has opened up a new door to the future, and for that, we thank you, sir.
Next, let us all welcome Mr. Subodh Kekar, a highly acclaimed Goa-based artist whose journey is as inspiring as his work. After beginning a career in medicine, he courageously left it all behind to pursue his one true passion, the arts. Today, he is the proud founder of a private art museum in Goa, where he flawlessly combines art and history to portray the cultural heritage, social issues, and lifestyle of the region through sculptures, installations, and multimedia work.
Through his powerful sculptures, paintings, drawings, and everything art, he disseminates his thoughts, opinions, and ideas about a variety of themes of life, for which he even got the Mario Miranda Chair of Arts at the University of Goa. He is truly able to express such unique emotions that are simply just inexpressible through words. Now, everyone, join me in welcoming to the Red Dot, Mr. Subodh Kekar.
Well, this morning I had a lovely walk in your beautiful campus, resting in the lap of beautiful mountains and the blessings of Sri Chinmayananji. It was a lovely walk, and I was speaking to a few students, and one of the students mentioned to me that he's joined this particular course that he has joined because his parents want him to join their business. Now, I was a medical doctor. Nobody forced me to become a doctor, but when I was 18 years old, like most 18 years olds, I did not know what exactly I want to become. But I was lucky because I was 7th in the board and I could get admission anywhere. And I wanted to become almost everybody, and medicine was also one of my choices, and I became a doctor. Ran my practice for almost 8 years, ran my own hospital. But my interest is always in arts. And while I was a doctor, I was still engaged in painting, in small sculptures. And then I started getting a little bit bored with my medical practice because I thought it was a little bit routine, and art started calling me, beckoning me. But another interesting thing happened. Most of my patients, 70% of my patients became British tourists because there was a big boom in tourism in Goa. And almost 70% of my patients were British tourists suffering from dysentery. So the idea of devoting my life to British dysentery was not acceptable. I thought India has taken enough shit from the British for 150 years, and I didn't want to take any more. So I gave up my medical profession, I gave up my stethoscope, and I embraced brushes and colors. And for the last 35 years, I'm doing what I love to do. And I'm, I think, one of the happiest persons on earth. Because I believe that the only purpose of life is to be happy. There is no other purpose in life. And if you do something which you love to do, there is a possibility that you'll be happy. If you do something which you don't like to do, you'll be definitely unhappy. So folks, please pursue your passion. Please do what you love to do, irrespective of what is told to you by your parents or your teachers, by anybody else. Because that is the purpose of life, to be happy. Well, art is given very little importance. But I basically believe that art is the most important aspect of humanity. Because if you consider, if you start studying the human civilization, I think history of human civilization is history of arts, all arts. Because human civilization is born in the womb of arts. We are human beings because we create arts. Other species, they don't create art. We create architecture, we create music, we create theater, painting, sculptures, literature. All these things make us human. Because we are human because we create art. If we did not create art, we would cease to be human beings. So art is the foundation, the cornerstone of human civilization. And it is given very little importance. You know, a child,
before it starts talking, it starts singing. Before a child starts walking, it starts dancing. And a child, before it starts writing, it starts drawing. So to create, creativity is innate to human beings. We are creative beings. And that's why art is very, very important. It has to be sort of recognized. You know, what we do normally is after we study chemistry, physics, biology, and all the other subjects, if there is time, then a little bit of art is taught. But I feel that art should be a medium of education. You know, every child is an artist. And I am an artist because the child survived in me. I am a 65 years old child. You know, the most important quality of an artist is to be like a child, to be always inquisitive, to be in wonderment of the world, to be happy, not to hate, to love. These are the qualities. But what happens is our society puts us in a vice and tries to give us shape. You become a doctor, you become an engineer, you become a business person, and this is what is killing the creativity. So this is my work, which is called, is a commentary on the social system of the country. Now, I was reading the mission statement of your founder, the Chinmaya mission, and I realized that Advaita, spreading of the idea of Advaita Vedanta, is the mission of this institution. And what is Advaita? Advaita is non-duality, not two, but one. So I find that the purpose of art and the purpose of Advaita is exactly the same. Advaita is basically non-duality of beings, unity of all existence, harmony between inner and outer world, love, empathy, celebration of life, happiness. These are the things which you hear in your prayers. The prayer which was just said at the beginning of this function basically talked about these ideas. And I feel that the purpose of art is exactly the same. You know, I put it in a very simpler word. You know, human beings have the needs, the basic needs of food, shelter, and clothing. Basic needs of food, shelter, and clothing. Even after these basic needs are satisfied, we need something more. And that something more that we need is satisfied by art, is provided by art. And even in food, shelter, and clothing, basic is fine. But even in that, there is a lot of art involved. That's why we have good architects creating shelters, we have chefs creating wonderful food, and we have fashion designers creating clothing. So even that we take much ahead to the basic needs. So those are the basic needs which are provided. So understanding human needs beyond the basic needs are provided. Understanding the meaning of life, spirituality, history, memory, time, death, eternity. These are the needs which are special to human beings. A dog is not interested in history. A dog is happy knowing a dog in the neighborhood and maybe a good-looking bitch in the other street. A dog is not interested in the canine history, what kind of dogs existed in 5,000 years ago. But human beings are interested in all this. So these are the things which are provided by arts. So I will start with basically, what does art do? Art is celebrates life. Art describes life. Art tries to understand life. You know, I will start with a small video. I think the lights could be off. Yeah.
Are you stay? Qui tollis et
what I'm trying to do here, this is a form of art which I discovered, and this is called performance installation. So I hire 100 laborers, I work with them, and I create these performances. And why am I doing it? This is kind of a celebration of the life of the fisherman. It is a celebration of the ocean. You know, we all originated in the ocean, in the sense life originated in the ocean. And, you know, it's a very beautiful poetry. It says, if you see the amount of sodium, potassium, and calcium in the seawater, this amount of sodium and potassium and calcium in our blood is exactly the same as the seawater. So all of us carry a little bit of sea inside us. So ocean has been a very important contributor to civilizations. Actually, civilizations are even born, I would say, in the womb of the ocean, because the oceans brought things, people, and I celebrate the ocean as a creator of civilizations, not just as a giver of food, that is fish. Of course, talking about fish as food will not be allowed here in this institution, but in Goa, we love fish, and the state of Goans without fish is a little bit like the state of fish without water. So here, I celebrate the fishermen, I celebrate the ocean as a medium of intercontinental cultural diffusions. So this is kind of trying to understand what the ocean has contributed. Art is not a representation, art is a response. This is my next work. This was an accidental work. I just created a disc of copper, and I took this disc to the seaside. I dug a crater in the ocean, on the seaside, and put the disc on the top with the electrical bulbs underneath it. And when I put the lights on, I couldn't believe myself. I thought I have created a new planet. And I called it the 10th planet. So this is a work just created with sand and light. And this work was created almost intuitively. I had not planned it. It happened accidentally. Then I started working with light and sand. All of us, as children, create a cone. A cone is the first sculpture all of us do. So I created a cone in memory of the cones which all of us have done as children. Those of us who are lucky to be on the seaside make it on the seaside. Others do it in the sand pit in the park. So this is in memory of the cones. This is just grooves on the sand with the electrical bulbs in between the grooves. And this is the memory of sunset on the sand. This is just a hole in the sand. And I have put some mussel shells on the border of the hole. So these are the kind of works which I do. And many of these works are created very, spontaneously. Many of them are not planned. You know, many times we are asked now, what is AI? Will AI take over art? Let me tell you one thing, and this is not just my wisdom. Even Albert Einstein, when he talked about E is equal to mc square, he mentions that it came to him as an intuition. You know, we have intelligence, we have instincts. Intelligence can be, by studying, intelligence can be made bigger. We have instincts, but just instincts and intelligence does not create creativity. It does not create great miracles. It needs intuition. You know, in the physics you study that the rays of light, when they pass through a convex lens, then they focus on a point and they create fire. The same way, intuition, when instinct and intelligence pass through the convex lens of intuition, then the fire is created. So AI can never take over intuition. AI will always sort of analyze data. And the data, just analysis of data will not create art. For creation of any art, you require intuition. So artists are safe from AI. I'm not against AI, mind you. I myself use AI. But then AI cannot replace a human brain, because when a computer is put off, the computer slips. It does not think anymore. But when we slip, our brain is not sleeping. Brain is still active, and a lot of ideas come. And many of my ideas come in my dreams. So dreams are my sketchbooks. So I will now come to the next subject, which is what is the contribution, what is the meaning of art. So when I said understanding life, spirituality. I feel this is my work, which is a commentary on the present day spirituality which is happening in the world. You know, religion has been badly used for politics. The moment religion is used for politics, it ceases to be religion, it ceases to be spiritual. Spirituality and power games don't mix. So actually, using religion for political purpose is an insult to religion. And so this is my work where SPI, the spiritual, SPI is plain white and ritual is studded with gold. So this is a commentary how ritual, spiritual has become ritual to a large extent. I'm not commenting on on everybody. I'm commenting on the general thing which is happening, which is in the face of us. So I was asked a question when I was eating food this morning, are you allergic to anything? Yes, I am allergic to religion being used for political purpose. I am. One of the functions of art, as said, is to break dualities. Break dualities of high caste, low caste, of this race, this nationality, this religion, that religion. And art has the power to break all these dualities. There was Madhu Limay, one of the politicians. He was in jail during emergency in Bangalore. And he used to love the music of Kumar Gandharva. And he wrote a letter to Kumarji that, Kumarji, I am in the jail. I don't know when I will be released, but every day I listen to your songs. And when I listen to your songs, I feel I have touched the cosmic. I have touched the divine. So the art has power to touch the divine. And this man is in the jail. He's not even free. But yet, listening to music, he can touch the divine. You know, these are Karai sisters. I had invited them to my museum. And they sang very beautiful composition. This is the one which I liked very much. So Veda Bhitu and Kurana Bhitu. I mean, that's what music does. We have another very favorite singer of mine, Bhimsen Joshi. Mata, Mata, Mata Vithala, Pita Vithala, Mata Vithala, Pita Vithala, Bandhu Vithala, Gotra Vithala, Bandhu Vithala, Gotra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra. This is a very interesting sort of depiction of Advaita. He says, me and God are not one. My Bandhu is Vitthal, my Mata is Vitthal, my Pita is Vitthal, my Gotra is Vitthal. So this is a breaking of duality. You know, I had an opportunity to have a meeting with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And, you know, another important thing which I must tell you, that art has to be political. If an artist tells you that he is not political, that means he is a coward. Because if we breathe political air, we have to exhale political art. Whether it is in writing or whether it is in poetry, music, anything. So artist has to be political. So Dalai Lama, I spoke to him, His Holiness, and I wanted to create a work in support of the Dalai Lama. Because the Tibet it's called the roof of the world. But the Tibetan people have no roof over their heads because they are now exiles in India. So I decided to create a work in support of the Tibetan cause. I have been trekking in Himalayas for many times, and I have seen these Tibetan flags everywhere. So I thought, but I had never seen a Tibetan flag on the seaside, and I live on the seaside in Goa. So I decided I will create an installation with 1,000 Tibetan flags on the seaside of Goa. And I had the blessing from the Dalai Lama, and this is what I created. This is the ocean praying for the freedom of the snow. That was the idea. So each of this flag had an electrical bulb at the bottom of it, and in the evening it was divine. This is how it appeared. And we had 300 monks which came from Mungol in Karnataka, which were, the Dalai Lama had asked them to support me, and we had a procession with torches. So this is a work where actually the spiritual also in a way supports a cause. When I talked about breaking of duality in Advaita and in art, you know, many times we disregard people who are not like us. They are the other. Us and the other. The idea of us and the other is totally un-Advaitic. It's anti-art. Art is, in the Republic of Art, there is no other. In the Republic of Art, there is no duality. And I once had an opportunity to meet with some transgenders. I belong to a small group in Goa where we invite paraplegics, blind people, unfortunate people, and give them a 2 days good holiday in Goa. That's all we do. Just take them around, feed them, and give them a good time for 2 or 3 days. So, few years ago, we invited 150 transgenders. And I decided I will create a work with transgenders. So I took them to the beach and we collected shells and we created a seahorse. The seahorse was created by myself working with the transgenders. And why a seahorse? Because a seahorse is a kind of a transgender in the ocean because the male seahorse gives birth to children. So, and they performed against this. So here is again an example of using art to break this dualities of gender. And it's very, very important. And so this is a dance performed by transgenders around my work. Memory, history, time are some of the other areas where art is concerned. This is, my father was one of my most important teachers. We walked every day for 2 hours from my age of 6 to 16. And so when he passed away, I made about 500 photographs of him and I planted them everywhere we walked. I planted them on the seaside, I planted them on the hillside, the riverside, because this is memory. And memory is one of the most important functions of art. Longest day, in Normandy on the 6th of June in France, the Allied forces came and they liberated France from the German occupation, from the Nazi occupation. That day, 35,000 people were killed. Allied forces, Germans, and civilians from France. Now, this happened in These are graves of all the 35,000 people who died. And recently, an artist created a work in memory of this day when 35,000 people were killed. And this is the work. All that he did was on the beach. He just ruffled the soil, the sand, and the wet sand came up and his figures were created. Just with a stick. You understood, no? Just with a stick, the sand was, and this is in memory of 35,000 people who died. So art has another function of memory. This is my work in Dubai, where, the ships from Arabia is to visit India right from the Harappan civilization. And so, in memory of the ships which came to Harappa, 2500 BC, I took boats from Goa to Dubai and created this work. Art and time. Art lies in time, and time lives in art. There's a very beautiful poem by Tagore. Taj Mahal is a building which is created in memory of Mumtaz, who died. It's in memory of Mumtaz. And then Tagore writes a very beautiful poem, which gives me goosepimples. He says, "You, Shah Jahan, you allowed your empire to perish, but your wish was to make imperishable a teardrop of love. Time has no pity for human heart. It laughs at our struggle to remember. But you, Shah Jahan, you allured time with beauty, made him captive, and crowned the formless death with fadeless form." What a beautiful line. Alluring time with beauty, making him captive, and crowning the formless death with fadeless form, that is Taj Mahal. Empires are reduced to dust, but the night still sighs to the sky, I remember. So this is a poem by Tagore, which basically, this is a work, perhaps the last work I will show you. I am a follower, a student of Gandhi. And I feel that Gandhi is as relevant today as he was relevant any time, because violence can never be relevant. Wars can never be relevant. Non-violence is the truth. And I started studying Gandhi for the last 15 years. And Gandhi's grandson, Rajmohan Gandhi, became a good friend of mine. And he phoned up many of these Gandhi institutions and told them that Subodh Kerkar is working on Gandhi, please support him. So I went to Gandhi Museum in Delhi, and the director, Mr. Palaniappan, he knew that I was an ex-doctor. So he just pointed to a chair and even did not speak to me, pointed to a chair, opened a cupboard and gave me a file, which was the original medical file of Mahatma Gandhi. And it had blood test, urine test, and 3 electric cardiograms. So this is an electric cardiogram of Mahatma Gandhi, done in 1937. So now I'm a doctor and I'm an artist. So I thought, what should I do with this cardiogram? So I thought, any drawing, I think as students of science, you must be all knowing that any doodle, any drawing can be converted into sound. So I converted Gandhi's cardiogram into sound. And that is Gandhi's heart sounds. So this is what art can do. Art can defy time. And now what you are about to hear are Gandhi's heart sounds. Thank you. Well, why Gandhi's heart sounds? Because he had one of the kindest hearts. And Gandhi has a very interesting theory on how to be happy. Gandhi says you can only be happy when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in perfect harmony. If you're thinking something completely different, you're saying something completely different like many politicians do, and you're doing something completely different, you can never be happy. You might be able to cheat the whole world, but you cannot cheat yourself. When you go back home, put your head on your pillow and try to sleep, you will know what kind of a person you have been. You will know that you have cheated, and so you can never be happy. To be happy, there should be a perfect harmony between what you think, what you say, and what you do. I will end here by quoting another very interesting poem. The poem is basically about many times I am asked, because eternity is one of the functions of art. It is one of the functions where we create art. And many times I am asked, Subodh, will you be remembered forever? So I tell them, well, I do not know. When death knocks on my door and says your time has come, I shall tell death, I have never lived in time, I lived in love. And when death asks me, will your sculptures, your paintings be remembered forever? I shall tell death, I do not know, but when I created them, I felt eternity. Thank you.
Check. Thank you so much for the wonderful talk, sir. It was truly inspiring. I'm sure a lot of us have learned a lot about art today.
Wow, what an incredible start to the event. We have heard some monumental speeches from Mr. Shinde and Mr. Kerkar, from bamboo to the arts. But as thought-provoking as these talks have been, we must accept a universal truth. The human attention span is, well, let's say, famously short.
So, to keep the energy high and the momentum going, our student body at CIRS has come up with something truly special. Now sit back and enjoy a shadow puppet show that beautifully demonstrates the intricate relationship between man and nature.
technology, nature, innovation. Look around you and you'll find that these three elements of creation pervade the world. Much of human innovation is thought to come from laboratories, algorithms, and complex machines. While this is not entirely wrong, it is not by themselves that innovation is fostered, but by their union with nature. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, nature inspires technology. Storm. The lotus does not absorb the storm, it repels it. As the raindrop falls, it comes into contact with the petal's waxy, bumpy surface and simply slides off, carrying dirt along with it. Engineers witnessed this miracle and designed a surface that mimicked this property of the lotus. Now, this technology pervades the world around us, in skyscrapers, automobiles, and even in space, on satellites and rockets. Isn't it poetic how the wisdom of a flower keeps the world cleaner? Ever seen one of these? A kingfisher. A fitting name for a swift, skilled hunter. It waits in silence. And then, lightning quick. No sound, no splash, just precision and the thought of a tasty dinner. Far from the peace of the forest, we find ourselves yet again in the modern world. Every time Japan's bullet train entered or exited a tunnel, it created a thunderous boom. With no stones left unturned in technology, the engineers were desperate for a solution. Nature beckoned. The kingfisher. The kingfisher's beak, long, sharp, and shaped by centuries of evolution, slices through water with barely a ripple. Air being a fluid like water, the engineers had found their inspiration. And with that, the boom vanished, the ride grew smoother, and efficiency was at an all-time high. A bird solved a man-made problem. Nature didn't just inspire technology, it refined it. There is still much to explore and much to understand. The natural world remains full of wonder, if only we choose to look.
That was incredible, inspiring and insightful to know just how much nature pervades the technology we use today.
With each step, embracing our culture, and every time she danced with an amazing passion, each flick of the eye mesmerizing and ethereal, and each gesture echoing stories of gods and mortals alike. Please welcome Dr. Guru Kanaka Sudhagar.
Recognizing her grace and gift for dance. Recognizing her grace and gift for dance, she established the Society for the Upliftment of National Arts of India, SUNAINA, to empower women and promote national arts. On top of all of that, she is also the founder of an institute for Bharatnatyam and Kuchipudi, through which she has received several national recognitions and awards. Kanaka Sudhakarji, your dance has moved audiences around the world. Now please, let your ideas move us too.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kanaka Sudhakar from New Delhi. Before, let me just tell a few words about myself. I was born in a Tamil Brahmin, devout, disciplined, Orthodox family. My father worked in the Indian embassy, and due to which I traveled to many countries, learned so many languages and cultures. And I still remember I performed Russian ballet. I learned Russian ballet, and I performed in a school in Yugoslavia. In the same Yugoslavia, one day I saw the dance of my namesake, Kanaka Srinivasan, very senior to me, and she was amazing. The vibrant footwork, the expression, the mudras, the beautiful, colorful costumes, and at that time, I realized that even if I was born abroad, my soul danced to the rhythm of India. From my childhood, I wanted to become a Bharatnatyam artist and a doctor. My logical soul, my logical mind always wanted to study the human body. But my artistic mind wanted to express through the human body. Social norms, family expectations, and I ended up becoming a registered pharmacist. I did pharmaceutics, and I bagged a government job. And then I got married, and I had 2 children. And one of my daughter is a professional Bharatnatyam artist. My son is a physiotherapist. Then fate gifted me a beautiful family of naturopaths. My father-in-law, Dr. L. Ramachandran, is a visionary of drugless therapy. And then he encouraged me to learn from the legendary VP and Shanta Dhananjayans of Chennai. That was the spark that lit the journey of my life. In 1994, after 7 years of research under the guidance of my father-in-law and many doctors, I came across the book, The Indian Classical Dances, The Therapeutic Advantages. And this was released by Sterling Publishers and by Sahitya Kala Parishad, published by Sterling Publishers, and it studied into the incidental benefits of Indian classical dance forms on the body. Then, my artistic mind, whenever I was dancing, I kept on asking myself, when I did Abhinaya, when I did the Shollus or the Adavus, what does this do to the body? What is it doing to my soul? What is it doing to my mind? How come, unlike Russian ballet dancers, Indian classical dancers dance and create and are so active to a ripe old age? All these things that came into my mind made me establish a society called SUNAINA, Society for the Upliftment of National Arts of India, through which we could think, express, and do research. I then thought that Indian classical dance should not be only the dance of the elite. It should come to the grassroots level. So we enrolled and registered with the Song and Drama division, in which we performed and curated and choreographed classical dance for the JJ colonies, the slum people, and the underprivileged, the grassroots level, where they have no awareness of classical dance. We created dance also on drug abuse, alcohol abuse, child labor, women emancipation, and such. Then, later on, let's now delve into the research that I did. In the research, I was thinking that what is the main thing in the body that actually is active when we dance? And that is the muscular system. Every single muscle in the body, you all must be knowing, many of you, that there are about 650 voluntary muscles in our body and about millions of muscle fibers, all under our voluntary control. When we control and when we move any part of the body, we are stimulating the internal organs. I named this thing, that is a very special thing, as muscular trigger. It's like a trigger. When you pull a trigger, then the bullet flies. Like that, when we trigger the internal organs with our voluntary movements, it is called a muscular trigger. And then, in Indian classical dance, we use every single part of the body. In the Abhinaya Darpanam, the body parts are divided into Anga, Upanga, and Pratyanga. The major body parts, the minor body parts, and the subsidiary body parts. Very scientific. And then you can see how the body is divided. Now, when these body parts are performed together, that is, we follow 5 basic rules. Whatever is done on the right is repeated on the left, like te yum tatta te yum tam. You have to repeat whatever you did on the right on the left. Look where the hands go. The angle of bending on the right and the left should be the same. Keep the spine erect, smile and express. These are the 5 basic rules. When you, for example, I want to do 7 movements: head, eyes, neck, arm, fingers, waist. So if I do all these legs, feet, if I do them separately, they will take 10 seconds. If I do them together, it will take 1 second. So this is called SSM, the Simultaneous Symmetric Movement System, SSM. That's how I have named it. So let me show you a very small item of Bharatanatyam, in which by doing SSM, that is simultaneous symmetric movement, how many movements can be done in the shortest possible time. इसको on करना. So this is Allaripu. We can see on the both sides, the movements are being done, following the rhythm at the same time. Whatever is done on the right is immediately repeated on the left. Angle of bending on both sides is the same. That was the Allaripu, and this was only half the Allaripu. That was 1.5 minutes. The Allaripu is of 3 minutes, and in that we do a whopping 397 movements. So just imagine, in 3 minutes, if we can do 397 movements, then what does it do to the body? So this is done, this was a big student, but can be done by a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old. And while doing this type of an SSM, so many parts of the body from the top to the bottom are activated, stimulated, toned, And such diseases like muscular dystrophy, degenerative diseases, asymmetrical development, joint pains and all that disappear. They're just prevented from coming. If we now go to the brain, they say that many people tell me that, Acha, you're dancing, so what else are you doing? I think people who don't have any brains, they dance. They could not get good marks in their schools, so they pursued dancing. But if you now just listen now to the next part, I say that dance is food for the brain. I name dance, classical dance, as food for the brain. Now, let us see why. There is so much focus needed when you dance. So much things to be remembered, sequences, so many talams. Now, I'll just tell you one small example. There is a thing called tala recitation. We have to actually count. We have to actually calculate. There is a lot of maths involved. Suppose I say that you have to say 3 beats, tisram, ta, ki, ta, in 3 speeds. So if it is the first speed, it is 1 beat, 1 bowl. If it is a second speed, it is 1 beat, 2 sounds, and 2 bowl. And if it is third speed, it is 1 beat, 4 bowl. So if you say in the second speed, it is 1.5 and 1.5. And if it is third speed, it is 0.75, 0.75, 0.75. So, ta, ki, ta, ada, ki, ta, ada, ki, ta, ada, ki, ta, ta, 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 ki, ta. Odd number. Even numbers are easy, but odd numbers are all in fractions. Like that, if we say a bowl, it is the only art form in the world in which we do this beating, counting, and speaking. Dalang kutakati kutakata dingina tum tadit tajum 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 ta ta ti tadingina tum takadit tajum 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 te ta ti tadingina tum tadit tajum tajum ta takadit tajum tajum te ta ta jum takatiku tadingina tum takatiku tadingina tum takatiku tadingina tum tam. So this tam is called the sum. This is actually something that stimulates the prefrontal cortex of the brain. There is different parts of the brain. There is another thing called perceptions, spatial perception, visual perception, sequential perception. These are all perceptions where the student of dance, while performing, has to visualize space, remember sequences, and also remember sequences and space and visualize things according to the lyrics, according to the shapes, the geometrical patterns that we create in space. According to Albert Frederick Jung, a researcher whose research work I also followed, by giving the body movements of variety, in which you have to remember sequence of movements, which is in a variety, such movements actually increase the oxygen transport capacity to the brain and thus improves IQ. One day, when I was giving such a lecture in Balbharti school, and at the end of the lecture, the principal sir, Matthew sir, comes on the stage and he says, after listening to ma'am's speech, I was just wondering why the cream of our students in our school are, incidentally, they are all learning classical dance. Outside, not in the school, they are learning. But I was thinking that it was a coincidence. But now I see that it is not a coincidence, it is the result. Classical dance actually is food for the brain. Now I'm going to touch on one more thing about the brain, because it's a huge chapter. Neuromaturational delays. What is neuromaturational delay? In a class, so many students are there, and many of them are 50% scorers, some are 60% scorers, some are 46, some are failures, and maybe 10 to 20% in normal schools, they are 90%, 100% scorers. Why the difference? Everybody has got the brain. So when I consulted one of my people whom we were working together in this research, Dr. P.N. Singh, she said that she's an educational psychologist and a child psychologist also. She said 70% of children studying in schools are slow learners. This is because of the neuromaturational delay. Neuromaturation, suppose there is an action. I'll now make you do an action. Suppose there's an action like this. The finger, right finger going up, then left finger. Then this is an alternate movement. So if a child of 5 or 4 cannot do this, child of 3, 4, 5 cannot do this. But once the child is above 5 years of age, then they must be able to do it. Suppose she doesn't or he doesn't, he's not able to do it. That means there is a problem. There is a neuromaturational delay. And then that child turns out to be a slow learner and cannot score that well in their studies. Then usually parents put them for tuitions. But even then, because the problem is there, they will not get the marks. They are not scoring in academics. Then if suppose they go to a doctor and that doctor, pediatrician, they give them certain exercises. They said do alternate. There are 19 parameters, 19. So I'll just tell you about 2 or 3. For example, alternate movements. So this is an alternate movement. In dance, classical dance, it is already endowed with these alternate movements from the first day. So you beat your feet alternatively. Te yate, te yate, yate yum, tatta, te yum tam, ta, hatta, jum, tari, tam, and all these steps. When one hand is doing something, the other hand will do something else. Then when that hand stays, then this hand will do. This is called alternate movements. There are synchronous movements. There is finger agnosia. That is the recognition of the fingers. What else do you need in classical dance? The mudras is a very typical, characteristic symbol of classical dance. Pataka, Tripataka, Ardha Pataka, Kartri Mugha, Mayura, Kyo, Ardha Chandrascha, Ralaha, Shukatundaka, Mushtishcha, Shikarayascha, all these movements, all these mudras, you should not look at them. Without looking at them, you should be able to perform the mudras, and that is called finger agnosia. This is a very big tonic to the brain. Like that, there is choreoform movements. That is the ability to hold a movement at a part. So when I am doing this movement, this particular hand is held there. It should be able to hold there, hold the poses and everything. So this, there were 19 parameters that we studied in this, and all of them are present in dance as a natural. So the yogis, who made the dance form, have not made it just like a dance. It is a healing. That is why Patanjali Muni, he was inspired, they say, by the dance of Lord Shiva, and he made the Yoga Shastra just by looking at and admiring the beautiful Tandava of Lord Shiva. When we go further into the brain, the emotional outlet, Frederick and Dougal, they were psychologists, they have told that it's very necessary to have emotional outlet. Emotional outlet, gussa karna, to be hangry, to be sad, to love, to smile, to show the various emotions. Of course, you all know that Indian classical dance is a sea of emotions. When you show emotions, that is called evoking the Navarasa. You have to evoke the Sthai Bhava with the help of some imaginary, suppose this is a snake, and I'm looking at the snake and I'm scared. So I'm evoking, bringing out fear. If you have to smile, different types of smiles, smiling at oneself, smiling at others, laughing at others, love, Shringaram. You're bringing it out, Sita looking at Rama, Radha looking at Krishna, anger. So it can be Narasimha, it can be any character from whom the anger was aroused, Veeram. Suppose Kalia was killed by Krishna. And so the emotional outlet, they say that when you bring out the emotional outlets, you're a very much balanced person. It is very, very important part of the working of the brain. If you go further into the heart and the lungs, of course, everybody knows that dance is a very good exercise. But what is so special about Indian classical dance that we studied? There were 2 amazing things that I found. When we dance in Indian classical dance, usually it is actually an aerobic exercise. So aerobic means we can do it for a prolonged time at a moderate pace, without actually, getting tired. And what is so special in this? Why are we able to do it for such a long time? 2 hours is a normal performance, 2 hours. We can perform for 2 hours without getting tired. So a thing is called alternate rest and exercise. When we perform, there are 2 parts. One, when we perform, fast movements. In that, the heart rate goes up and toxins are created, you feel pain, and then suddenly you slow down. You walk back. This is also part of the dance. You're walking back, then you're holding a posture, you're waiting. At this time, the recovery rate. Then again you burst into an activity. Then again you slow down. Then you perform. Then you pose. Then you walk. Then you slow down. Then you sit. So this alternate rest and exercise that is followed in Indian classical dance actually gives us this graph that is called the steady state level. So when we perform the Allaripu, Jatiswaram, the pain is felt. Then we perform the Shabdam, which is a Abhinaya-based item. Then the toxins are cleared at that time. Then we come to the Varnam, the longest item. At the end of the Varnam, we feel that, we can dance for 1 more hour. No problem. So, and if we come to the circulatory system, the heart, these are the peripheral hearts, that is the muscle fibers. I told you before there are 650 muscle fibers and lakhs of muscle fibers in the body which are under our control. In a trained body, these muscle fibers are always in a state of vibration. In a stationary person who's doing stationary job, it is not in a state of vibration. So it is like this. It is vibrating all the time. So it helps you to push the blood back to the heart. It is pushing against the artery that is going, arteriole, the capillary that is going through it, and it helps in venous return. That is, the heart gets that much help. All these muscles that are beating, vibrating like this, I call them mini heart. Sorry. They are the mini pumps, they are mini hearts, and they are actually helping the venous return. So in such a person, the heart rate is about 40, 45, 50 resting heart rate. And their reserve capacity is more. They can go more because their heart rate, resting heart rate is less. Another very important part of dance is the barefoot. The thap, whether it is Kathak or Bharatanatyam or any dance form that is classical, traditional, we perform the barefoot, this thing. In this, I studied for 3 years acupressure under Dr. Raman Kapoor. And Dr. Raman Kapoor is an acupressure specialist. He is on the panel of WHO. And I was thinking, this is something unique. What is the secret behind the exceptional health and fitness of artists, Indian classical dancers? So I thought that barefoot thing is something that is very unique. So let me ask Dr. Raman Kapoor, who is a reflexology and acupressure specialist. And he said that I'm so convinced that this is a perfect acupressure massage that's going on here. And suppose this is done in the course, how long does it take for a classical dancer to study? It does not how long does it take, but it takes years, many, many years. After that also the performance goes on and on, on and on. Then this is such a good acupressure massage. It is handling, as you can see, every point, every area of the planta of the foot is connected through channels to some part of the body. So everything is kept. So of course, this is a Chinese acupressure system. It is a little bit different from the allopathy system. There are so many systems of medicine, but this barefoot thing, of course, so many people will agree that connecting the foot to the ground is a very good way of, keeping the body fit and along with nature. Then also I studied yoga and dance. So if you see what is not there in dance, In classical dance, it is a dynamic yoga. What is yoga? Yoga, you can say that just sitting in a place, closing your eyes and doing pranayama is not yoga. Yoga is focus, concentration. Yoga is keeping the back straight and promoting good circulation and breathing. So when I studied deep breathing, I felt, and even my father-in-law agreed to this, that when we do deep breathing sitting in one place, we are not actually creating the need for that oxygen that we are taking inside. But when we are doing deep breathing during exercise, during work, during dance, then at that time we are creating a need for that oxygen that we are taking in. Thus, the carbon dioxide oxygen imbalance is not created. So a better way of doing pranayama is doing pranayama, doing the deep breathing during the dance. So in dance, we have to hold our breath when we are doing the very fast movements, and then when we are doing the slow movements or going back, as I told you, at that time till that time the heart was, we can feel it pounding, and the breath was, because we can't let the breath out when we are dancing, like we can't do like that. It has to be, the mouth has to be kept closed and breath has to be held when we are doing the fast movements. When we can let go of the breath when we are doing the slow movements. So this is a type of yoga. Yoga also means meditation. Meditation does not mean closing of the eyes. Meditation means focus. Suppose an artist has faced a tragedy at home, and now she is coming for a performance. She has a performance, and there has been a tragedy at home. She is in the performance. She has to show a happy face. She has to show Yashoda calling to Krishna. She has to go after him. She has to do all the things, focusing and creating that Krishna in front of her. And this is called a meditation. And that creates something natural, happiness called Sahajananda. Yoga is also about asanas. So I studied so many, that is, for example, I see Tadasana. It is equal to Samapada Sthanakam. Vrikshasana, Ekapada Sthanakam. Trikonasana. This is a Natadabal. Similar poses, Virabhadrasana. This is dance pose and this is dynamic pose, Padastasana. So, in this made me create a thing called Yogic aerobics, where I got letters from all over the world, people saying that we agree to your research, but we are now 50, we are now 40, we are now 60. How can we start now? How can we benefit? So I created a system called Yogic aerobics, very medically created system, 10 cycles, each cycle consisting of 10 movements, and I'll just show you a cycle. Any person who has not learned dance and who is above 50, cycle by cycle they improve in their lethargy, in their fitness level, in their stamina, in their agility, in their dexterity. So this is cycle number 4. Please play this thing.
Yogic aerobics, cycle number 4. Five, 6, 7, start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heel up, down. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. Now do the waterfall movement. 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to the creeper movement.
Thank you. So let us not just dance for the art, but dancing for health. Thank you. Is there any questions that anybody would like to ask?
Thank you, Dr. Guru Kanaka Sudhakar, for that amazing talk and filling the hall with your words of wisdom. Juice and refreshments will be served right now outside the auditorium. Everybody is requested to proceed for that.
you
We now present to you the CIRS band for that electrifying performance.
you can't stay away from me. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall and face it all. Together let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall and face it all. Together at skyfall. I got that summertime, summertime sadness. Sister, summertime, summertime sadness. Oh, I love it and I hate it at the same time. You and I feel the light in the same light. Oh, I love it and I hate it at the same time. I had all of that, most of you, some and none of you. Take me back to the night we met. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm glad that goes to you. Take me back to the night we met. Oh, 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 see you again. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, CIRS band, for that amazing performance. It just added that extra little touch of wonder to our event.
Next up, we have someone really special. In IB, we learn about pressing global issues and how different authors bring it to light through their literature and writing. It is not every day that you meet someone who isn't just writing solutions, but building them.
It is not every day that you meet someone who is not just an author, but a change maker. Please welcome Mr. Sumant. Mr. Sumant works in a company which provides crop insurance solutions to farmers and cultivators all over India, a field that few dare to enter, but one that impacts millions of lives. Everyone, please welcome Sumant.
I took that picture when I found out I have to come here yesterday. So I wasn't very happy at that time that I have to take a last-minute flight to come here. But nonetheless, I think when I found out that I am going to be speaking to young minds like yours, where the future is going to be, I was very happy and I'm very proud to be here, and I thank you for this opportunity. And I think all of you deserve a huge round of applause for putting this together. It's been an immaculate event, and I am certain that the future is in good hands. So, in fact, it is in such good hands that though I run a very large organization where there's almost about 1,000 people, I have been interviewed twice by students of the school to make sure that I'm prepped enough to be here. And they were very thorough, I must say. So today I want to talk about a world where there is ideas intersect with agriculture and technology. So, as we all know, agriculture is one of probably the oldest professions, where we went from hunter-gatherer to cultivating crop for our own consumption, and it was not always economic activity that was part of just cultivation. Right, so I wanted to today take you on a journey across fields which engulf agriculture as a practice and technology that is making that practice more sustainable and better for the world. Ancient agriculture, like I said earlier, not so long ago, was something that was being done not just for economic activity, but it was also a way of life. It was woven into our cultures, our festivals, and our ancestors understood the magic of nature and lived with it. And they grew food by not fighting the land, but by working with it. They worshipped the land, they worked with nature, and they grew whatever crops they could. That is why it says, the earth is my mother, and I am her son in the Atharveda. Think about it. They treated the soil not as a resource to exploit it, but they've thought of it as a living mother to protect. That is how they treated the soil. That is how they cultivated crops early on. They mastered the art of rainwater harvesting. They built step wells. They understood what cropping cycles are. They understood crop rotation. There were natural pest control methods. They did all of these before they became buzzwords that we use today, or probably not even words that were there for these things. Now, in the changing world, the challenges that we have is exponential growth of population coupled with urbanization, industrialization, depletion of resources that's made traditional farming very difficult to feed the needs of current society, right? Today we eat not just to feed our hunger, we eat for Instagram because I want to post a burger that somebody has shown me on my social media feed. We eat for luxury. Feeding is not now just an essential necessity, but it's become a statement. It's become a lot more than just traditional eating to survive, to feed your hunger, right? Water tables have been depleting, soils are degrading due to excessive tilling, right? There's climate change, which all of us talk about so much, right? Which results in extreme losses for farmers. One small flood, entire villages' incomes are swept. Farmers are thrown into debt, right? So these adversities give opportunities. This is where new ideas intersect with traditional methods of what we are doing, right? So these create opportunities for people like you to think beyond what we are doing, right? And create something out of this. So like any crisis that comes up, there are opportunities that come up with it. And this is where technology has stepped in and created opportunities for generations now to make agriculture more sustainable, agriculture more productive. Right? In technological advances, the importance of technology has grown to drones, where satellite images today can be used to monitor the health of crops. So I can, using satellite images in the sky, detect pests that start in my crop. So if I'm a small farmer that is in a remote village, let us say in Tamil Nadu, while I cannot daily go and probably inspect every leaf of my crop, but the satellite image resolutions today are so good that a farmer sitting in his house on his mobile phone can get alerts if there has a pest infestation that has started on his or her crop, right? Which helps them tackle this issue before it spreads across the field. So imagine this, you're a farmer who will now know the moisture content in the farms, and depending on your land, and depending on that, only then you need to water it, right? You can determine the precision with which you can sow and harvest your crops using technology. IoT sensors in the ground help you do that. There's AI-based weather predictions that are possible that give the farmer more advantage now. And also not that risk for the first time is being covered for these farmers using technology. So I'll give you a very simple example. Today, a farmer using technology can draw his or her farmland onto an application, identify it on a map in an application, get insured for their losses, sitting at their home at the convenience of that, and insure for the risks of different climate change, risks that are there, pest attacks and whatnot and what so. And technology today, AI-driven models are enabling them to get resilience. So if something happens to my crop, the AI models are able to assess the damage and give the farmer that resilience immediately in 48 hours, 24 hours, whenever it happens. So imagine you're a farmer who needs 5,000 rupees for the next month to survive, need not go and fight for what is his loss that needs to be paid. AI and technology is able to do it to them in the next 24 hours without them having to go and ask anybody for it. That is the advantage of technology that we are seeing in today's day and age. Right? So there are some pioneers also in India that have started using technology at a state level. Traditionally, Rajasthan, which is considered a very dry state, all of you must have heard Rajasthan is a desert state where there's a lot of crisis in terms of water usage. So they have started using IoT drip irrigation systems. So where the sensors in the ground determine how much water is fed to these plants. So by doing that, they're able to save 60% water usage. So in a state like Rajasthan, where water resources are scarce, it becomes extremely helpful to have this kind of technology that helps them cultivate with much lesser water. Also, Sikkim has become one of the first states to turn both mostly organic in terms of its entire farming practice, using both traditional composting methods and modern technology. Andhra Pradesh has started a project called Zero Budget Natural Farming, which is basically mixing natural organic wisdom with satellite data, creating a model for the world to be used. Now, this is where I think the future comes. The wisdom of the past, ancient wisdom unites with the new, it sparks a flame of thought for the welfare of the world. So this is where I think we all need to understand that there has always been traditional wisdom that has been passed on to us from generations. There has always been traditional practices that we have been seeing. So we need not replace these with technology. We need not replace these with robots. We need not necessarily always replace them with machines or tools. But it is how we harness the knowledge that has always been there, that has always been available to us through generations. Example, farming, right? There is a lot of technology that is used today in farming, especially in the West, where farms are being completely managed by robots, completely harvested by machinery. But that also comes with traditional knowledge of what farming is, what crop needs to be sown, what is best suited for this weather. No amount of technology can replace the knowledge that a farmer has. So when we work with farmers on the ground, no matter with how much precision weather-based data that we go, the farmer always knows better than us as to how it's going to impact his or her farmland, right? So this is where I think young minds like yours should work towards assessing not just a problem, which is agriculture and food production, but many such problems that exist in our world today that can be
can become better with the use of technology. We need not reshape the whole thing, but how can technology help, intervention of technology help in making things easier, making things more effective, efficient, and sustainable, right? Sustainability is a very key word that all of us know that is important for the generations to come, that is your generation. I think our generation and the generations before us have done enough damage, so I think you need to now put in more effort to use technology to make these things possible. Right, so now I think with that I would like to say I urge you all to take the lead, and my call to action to you would be to look at life or the things around you in your life, right? Solutions to problems that exist around us every day can come from everyday people, everyday use of technology. So I urge you to take the lead. I urge you to use the knowledge that is there with us in traditional methods that we've been doing things. India as a country, we have so many things that are traditionally done. We have speakers before us who have spoken about sustainable bamboo usage. Ma'am has spoken about how art forms are helping people get better at what they're doing. So how do we get these things out to more people? How do we reach more people? How do we use technology to be the gap bridge, right? So I urge you all to take that lead, to think towards how we can bridge this gap using technology and be the change that is possible with you. Thank you all for this opportunity, and I thank you for inviting me here today.
Thank you, Mr. Sumant, for that inspiring and intuitive talk. Your talk has really given us valuable insights on the intersections between agriculture and technology. Next up, please welcome to the stage Mr. Vivish George, a seasoned entrepreneur with 25 years of experience in finance and real estate. He is the founder of a flourishing debt management company and is also the co-founder of a real estate agency, helping bring elegant villas and houses to life. But his creativity does not end with his business.
Mr. Vivish is also a professional photographer, even co-founding a studio of his own in Chennai to display his capturing prowess. Photography might be cool, but travel photography, that's a whole new level of adventure. But it isn't just about capturing culture, it's about capturing emotions and stories unheard of. And more importantly, it's about exploring the inner self. Over to you, sir.
So I'm looking at that photograph of myself, I'm telling myself I should have sent an updated one. I recently took the hair off my head and I look very different to that. It's really nice to be in front of you. And as I was sitting there and I was mingling with a lot of you yesterday evening, it dawned on me that I'm actually facing a high school audience after my last time in high school. So it's like a good 40 years since I've actually faced a high school audience. So thank you so much for the privilege of being here. Thank you to the students. Thank you to the faculty. Thank you to the organizers. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I have another confession to make. This is my first TEDx talk. And I'm nervous not for myself. I'm actually nervous for all of you. I hope this goes down well for all of you and this pans out all right. And why am I here? I'm here because a journey has brought me to a point where I'm a photographer today. It's not a journey that has come to me straight. It's not a journey that has come to me impulsively. I finished my school and college, and I went into business. I founded a couple of businesses, one business being banking services, another business being real estate. I built homes in a place called Yerkat, Salem, which is not too far from here. But sometime as I got to my early 50s to mid-50s, I'm 57 now, I had this urge to do something that I'm more passionate about, something that would, kind of make me wake up every day and look forward to that day. And while my businesses were good, it wasn't a passion-generating sort of business. All my thoughts then came back to what do I want to do? And somehow it came back to photography because that is something that I have enjoyed all my life. Wherever I've gone, I've carried a camera with me from the time I was in school, college. And I wanted to do that. And I frankly didn't know how to go about doing that because as you get older, I think you also get into your comfort zones and you don't want to explore new avenues because you're happy where you are. So I needed to get myself out of that comfort zone. And I think that's where a strong support system definitely helps. And I think I want to acknowledge my support system that brought me to the field of photography because if it wasn't for their encouragement, I wouldn't have dabbled in something like photography or something creative on those lines. I'm going to start with, that's my wife, Maria. She's been the pillar of my strength and everything I do for over 30 years now. That photo that you see of her on the right, that portrait of hers, in many ways, is the portrait that kind of kick-started my journey as a portrait photographer. So, you know, some of you may remember that bizarre and surreal time in our lives called COVID-19. During that time, we were all in lockdown, we were all shut in our houses, and there was this friend of ours who was putting the seeds of founding a company called Amazing Grays, which was into hair care products for silver and gray-haired people. So, you know, everything was in lockdown. He was Bangalore-based. He couldn't put an agency together. So he requested Maria to be the model for this particular campaign that he was doing. Maria, I must tell you, hates to be in front of the camera. In fact, she's probably watching it live now and she doesn't know that she's in this presentation. She's probably watching it now and saying, just wait till you get back home. You are in so much trouble, you know, so. Then he called me and he told me, listen, you've been wanting to do photography for quite some time. Why don't you shoot Maria? Since you both live under the same roof, why don't you shoot your wife and send us a campaign and we'll try and run it. I shot the campaign. We almost didn't live under the same roof after that because it was a turbulent campaign, a photo shoot, but it went well, the campaign went well. And this is the photograph that kind of kickstarted. So not only has she been a pillar of strength for me, but this is also the portrait that kind of started the journey for me. My daughter Ananya, she lives in Amsterdam. When I wanted to start this, I'm going to tell you these things simply because maybe there is something in this that might you might connect with. She had only one thing to tell me. She told me that it's okay to do what you want to do at 25, at 55, rather than not do it at all. And I thought that kind of struck a strong chord with me. My son Ankit is an architect based in Goa, where Mr. Subodh comes from. And he's the person who put me onto Instagram. I was totally clueless about Instagram, and I didn't know how to put myself out there. And he put me on Instagram. In fact, he put the first post out on Instagram. And he also gave me a bit of advice that has stuck with me. And he said, as a creative person, your only job is to put yourself out there. After that, what follows is not yours, because it is subjective. People are going to like it, people are not going to like it, and that's okay. Just put yourself out there. And I think that's important in all walks of life, that you need to put yourself out there. This is Jane. Jane is a model and an accomplished photographer herself. I met Jane during a photo shoot that I was doing, and a wonderful human being. And she and me, while we were having our conversations, she had this dream and this vision to start a creative studio. She already had the template, everything in place, and we wanted to start a photography studio. And during our conversations together, we said, why not we do it together? And sometime last year, the studio was founded. And if someone would ask me 3.5 years back, would you have a career in photography? Would you have a studio of your own? When I was 54 years old, I'd have said it's just wishful thinking. But it's real, it's happened, it's here. So the point being, it's never too late to pursue your dreams or your passions. The question is, just do it. And I think I've been fortunate, I was able to do it, and I was able to get here. Now, as a photographer, what are the kind of photographies that inspire me? What are the kind of mediums of photography that I find that interconnects and gives me value in the other occupations that I do? Portrait photography being one of them. I'll just show you a small selection of some portraits, some travel portraits. Now, portrait photography is not just about me standing or sitting in front of someone and saying, let me take your picture. It requires a fair level of communication. If you want a person who's sitting in front of you to bear their soul through their eyes and that expression, you have to first make them comfortable. So which means it definitely generates a certain amount of communication skills. You need that in order to get that person to be comfortable. And that communication skill is also something that is so important in all walks of life because, for example, how do you solve problems? Most problems can be solved by good communication. Most solutions can be found by good communication. Therefore, portrait photography teaches you good communication. The other thing that portrait photography, particularly travel and street portrait photography does is you get over the fear of rejection because even today, after taking a fair amount of street portraits, I am actually nervous when I go up to somebody and say, can I take your portrait? Because I know more often than not, they're actually going to say no. And for reasons that are completely legit. Some are shy, some don't want to stand in front of the camera, some are, where are you going to publish these photos? And that's perfectly fine. But I think that is also very important in life in the sense that you must have the courage to put yourself out there and get over the fear of failure. It's okay. I mean, it's okay if you fail once in a while. But let's say tomorrow you're starting an enterprise and you need to go to a VC for funding. If you have the fear of failure, you're never going to take that step. So I think the important thing is do not have the fear of failure. Just go out there and do it. So portrait photography teaches you that, especially travel and street photography teaches you communication, teaches you to get over your fear of failure. This particular portrait, the communication was a bit different. I was in Sri Lanka in a railway station. We were waiting for a train to come, my wife and me, and maybe about 3 or 4 platforms away on a train. She was on that train, and I was just panning my camera, looking for some candidates, and she caught the lens. She caught the lens in the frame, and almost instinctively she started posing. It was absolutely beautiful the way she just connected with the camera. So here there was a communication between the subject, me, through a medium called the camera, which is, for example, what the modern gen does. A lot of the communication happens through your digital portals. I won't say this was a greater connection, but it was nice. So I don't know who she is, I don't know where she comes from, but if she happens to go and get access to this TEDx and she sees herself on this, please get in touch with me and I'll share these photos with you. The other aspect of photography that I really like is travel photography. So one of my businesses is we build buildings, architecture. We design buildings. And I find that nature and man-made monuments always draw you and give you design clues which you can then use in the way that you implement in your structures that you build. I put together a small curation of photographs which are not architecture-based, but just tell you how it can also be interpreted as architecture. For all of these pictures, whenever I take a picture, I always sometimes see a slightly deeper meaning to it. On these pictures, you'll find that I've given that caption. That is for you to mull over. I'm not going to elaborate on that. That is for you to take your own take out of that. What I'm going to tell you is how I see this as a design. How does it help me in design? Now, this particular picture is a study in contrast. The building is a building in Chennai. It is an absolutely jet black building, black and gray stone. It was an overcast day. And you had these 2 girls who walked with these really bright umbrellas. It was an absolute perfect study in contrast for me. This is something that we look when we build houses. How do we bring contrast to a house? They are not 2 people looking out for Wi-Fi signals at the end of the world. This is actually a study in minimalism. This is the White Ran of Kutch in Gujarat, an absolutely beautiful place. And it just shows you how in just sheer, simple minimalism, it is still so beautiful. You see this, for example, in Scandinavian architecture, where you see large open spaces, and just a couple of elements there to give you that feeling of space. And that's what nature has done here. Very few elements, and it's still such a beautiful thing to visualize. Perspectives. There's an ancient stepwell in Jodhpur. Just look at how those ancient artisans have drawn lines, and they've drawn you into this stepwell by sheer their perspective. What I have done by placing both of them there is made a three-dimensional image out of a two-dimensional object. But it's just the way that the artisans of the old days have created this perspective for us. Shadows. Shadows is such an important part of architecture because without shadows you cannot create light. This was at an ancient site in Hampi. We were standing on an elevated platform. This is my family and a friend's family. And we were looking down and it created these shadows, and it just shows how much drama shadows can cause in an image and in visuals. So I have a small story to say. I'm not sure if the third person on the right, you can see a small kid there. That kid traveled with us to Hampi. I just want the audience to know that kid is here in this audience, and she's a lot bigger now. I'm not going to say who she is, but she's here in this audience. Light. This was taken at a temple in Chennai. The beauty of light. As architects, we're always looking to see how can we bring light into a subject, because light is magic. We need light. Everything around our lives revolve around light. We chase the sun. We want to be out in the sun. It energizes us. So that is something that we as architects and construction people look at. How do we bring light in? And this picture typically gives us the magic of light. Hues. This is something, again, that is important for us in our design elements. We're always wondering, how do we create a color palette or a color template? Here, nature is showing us, you know what, you don't need too much. Sometimes just simple hues create such beautiful color palettes that you can use in your design elements. Symmetry. This is taken at the Patrika Gate in Jaipur. It's a beautiful study of symmetry, not just in the way the columns are designed, it's also in the way the art has been made, and everything forms a perfect symmetry in the object. And this is also something that's very important in our architectural design when we design buildings. We spoke about subtle colors like hues. Here's a use of bold colors. And you can see how there's just a whole explosion of colors, and yet somehow it works. To the kids here, please don't do what this girl is doing. Don't go around peering into other people's windows. Not advisable at all. And this was also taken at actually a place in Chennai. And it was just a beautiful explosion of colors. This, in architectural terminology, we call visual hierarchy. So for example, this auditorium itself, I am standing here and you're down, and it's creating a visual hierarchy. This is something that we do in architecture. So that the waterfall being the primary subject and the boy being the secondary subject creates that, this illusion of visual hierarchy, which we use a lot in architecture. Of course, I need to add that all of these pictures are taken by me. I've curated these pictures to give you how it connects with another business of mine, which is architecture, how when I travel, I get ideas that I can use. The last picture here is not about architecture. That was a beautiful building in Bali, but it's not about architecture. This is something that I want to sign off my presentation with. As all of you are on the cusp of, getting out of your school, going to college, and pursuing your lives, this is the only place where I'm going to stick to what the caption says. I think it's important that some of us follow light, some of us follow our shadows. But the important thing is for you all to carry your music with you. When you carry your music with you, I don't literally mean music. It could be whatever medium that interests you. It could be art. It could be, I'll talk about the esteemed speakers, before me. It could be art. It could be dance. It could be the field of insurance. It could be, sustainable forms of practice. Carry that music with you, and that is very important. If you do that, you're bound to succeed. Parting note, I just want to tell you all, I know this, at this point of time, you'll have your fears on what the life holds for you, how do you go about it, and all that is fine. Let's just remember this, the future looks bright. Thank you so much.
Wow, sir, those words truly inspired us. Thank you so much for that tantalizing talk. We didn't just learn how photography intersects with culture, we also learned that it isn't just mere pictures you're clicking. It's an experience. It's something that can be felt, understood, and lived. Once again, thank you so much, sir. Finally, for our last performance, we have our dance team of CIRS putting together the ultimate liberation of man from chaos, confusion, and absolute destruction. Please put your hands together for the dance team.
Mama said, fulfill the prophecy, be something great. Go make a legacy, manifest destiny. Back in the days we wanted everything, wanted everything. Mama said, burn your biographies, rewrite your history. Light up your wildest dreams, museum victories. Every day we wanted everything, wanted everything. Not to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a time, but I always had a vision, always had high hopes. Mama said, something for oddities, stranger crusades. Ain't ever wannabes, winning the novelties that don't ever change. We wanted everything, wanted everything. Stay up on that rise, stay up on that rise, never come down. Oh, stay up on that rise, stay up on that rise, never come down. Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated, all tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. They say it's all been done, but they haven't seen the best of me. So I got one more run, and it's gonna be a sight to see. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision, always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living, didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision, always had high hopes.
And with that, our TEDx event comes to a close. We hope you enjoyed our event just as much as we did organizing it. The TEDxYouth team would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to all those who have expressed their ideas, passions, and purpose with us today. We truly believe that through this series of talks, we've unlocked a new level of understanding of the intersection between ideas. However, there are so many others that we have yet to thank, without whom this event would not have taken place.
First and foremost, our directors, Swami Anukulananda ji and Madam Shanti Krishnamurthy, Principal Madam Rajeshwari. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to showcase our organizing skills on stage.
We also owe a huge debt of gratitude to our IB head and organizer, Mr. Ganesh Ishwaran, along with our IB coordinator, Mr. Satish Kumar, who have been invaluable support systems throughout X-VERGENCE, from its little baby steps to the grand event it has become now. Thank you, Ganesh sir, and thank you, Satish sir.
Next, our co-organizer, Ms. Divya V.M. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sticking by our side through thick and thin. And most of us know we have been through a lot of thick. And we cannot forget to mention the mastermind behind the entire event, our production head, Mr. Arun Muralidharan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for being our support system since day one. Trust me when I say this, his praise and criticism, however harsh, has made this event infinitely better, and we could not have done this without you, sir.
And of course, our CAS coordinator, Mrs. Suvarna Dasreddy, for delegating work and being that motivational figure, always empathetic and pushing us towards our success. Ma'am, thank you so much for helping us create such an extraordinary event.
Moreover, I would like to thank a few people, Mr. Karthik Chandra Raghunath, Mrs. Mani Meghalai, and Mr. Srinivasan S. Thank you so much for making our filler program so beautiful.
And last but not the least, we would love to thank our speakers for X-VERGENCE 2025.
Check. I'd like to humbly request the dignitaries of our school to honor the speakers with a small token of appreciation for their phenomenal performance today. First, I'd like to invite our IB head of school, Shri Ganesh Ishwaran, followed by our principal, Madam Rajeshwari, and our deputy headmistress, Madam Sharanya. Now for our speakers. First, we have Shri Yogesh Shinde for transforming the world one bamboo solution at a time. Second, Dr. Guru Kanaka Sudhakar for decoding dance from head to toe, from motion to mudra and beyond. Next, Dr. Subodh Kedkar for instilling life into the lifeless and taking us from division to oneness. Next, Shri Sumant DS for taking technology from our labs to our fields and showing us that nature is for nourishment, not for exploitation. And last, but certainly not the least, Shri Vivesh George for taking us on a spectacular journey through his life and his lens. These are your TEDx speakers for X-VERGENCE 2025, everybody. Please give a loud, loud round of applause.
And of course, how can we forget? We have had the best audience TEDx has ever seen. Thank you to you too, dear students.
And finally, we hope all of you have had a wonderful experience here at TEDx CIRS. And we also hope the speakers will continue sharing their amazing ideas and tantalizing passions with the rest of the world. Thank you for your time, and thank you for lending your minds for these few hours of pure insight and pure ideas.
This is TEDx Youth at CIRS 2025, signing off.